Welcome to Zank's Indie Life.
All right, folks, buckle up because today we're going to be talking about R.I.P. Reincarnation Insurance Program, which might be just the weirdest, the widest, and the most unexpectedly clever game I have played this year. So before I get ahead of myself, welcome to Indie Life. It's a place for that we celebrate indie games, and here we go. So this R.I.P. takes the idea of insurance and cranks up to a cosmic level. So basically, you're not protecting just your car, your house. There's no such thing in the game, but you're protecting your next life. So yeah, baby, it's that kind of game. So I want to talk about what this game nails and what this game, it's currently not that good. Just mind you, this is an early access. There's a promotion price on Steam, so go check it out. But let's go. So this game actually, it's good. So the concept, for example, it's so original and it feels illegal. I know it sounds crazy, but it's like a bureaucratic afterlife where you negotiate your reincarnation, and that's the kind of creativity that it's interesting. So as you die, you reincarnate and you go back and get stronger, and it's cool. There's not much of a dialogue in the game. It's just like, it feels like more a satire than half existential crisis, but it's at the end, it's all entertainment. Your choices that they actually matter. So especially for your build. So every decision nudges your karmic score. So, and that doesn't hesitate to throw consequence back into your face, for example. A surprise, and the moral system is quite deep. So you catch yourself thinking way too hard about whether you deserve to come back as a human or a houseplant, something like that. But it's a very good idea, and the meta progression, there's a skill tree where you go through it. You unlock new characters as you progress, as you go through maps, and each character, they play very differently. So there's a very OP character called Claire, and she is just damn crazy. It's like a shotgun type of thing, and I love it. There's another character which is just like a rocket launcher. It's just like fabulous. It's just incredible feeling. It feels very punchy, and the sound is great. So it's really, really cool. But now, the not that cool part. So basically, let's talk about what is going on. As I mentioned before, this is still in early access. The developers have been doing a great job upgrading the game and things like that. There's also, they changed the screen shakes and stuff like that. The controls are better, but it is still ways to go. But most importantly, the gameplay feels good. So, for example, I'm just gonna give you some points here. The pacing can drag a little bit. Some sections feel like you are stuck in a cosmic DMV line. Funny but slow. So what I mean by that, it's just like it depends the map. Sometimes you don't even see you dying, and then you have to start over, and that's what I mean, because the UI occasionally fights you, so you cannot see certain things because the screen can get really wild, full of projectiles. While it's fun, it can be a little bit of a hurdle in your gameplay. If you don't like constant action, like boom, 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 this is not for you. But overall, as a bullet hell, roguelite, I think this is just a very incredible. That's my final point. I think if you like bullet hell and a new take on a survival genre, and this is a very good one. The bad thing I want to say, I forgot to mention, they developed this game with the Unreal Engine 5, if I'm not mistaken, you can see the cracks. And sometimes there's a slow, because when you have especially a lot of projectiles on the screen, and you can see the engine, kind of, reacting negatively with this type of game. And that's the part I don't like. When I almost didn't play when I saw it was made up with Unreal Engine, but I was like, okay, let's give it, because it looks good, but it can get a little bit muddy also, the graphics, because it's an Unreal Engine. But it's overall, I'm still having a great time, and I hope you do too. All right, so that's all for me about R.I.P. It's a bit for basically it's absolutely worth your time. It's bold, it's clever, and it's unlike anything else out there. At least with February of 2026, I believe this is one of the best bullet hell games so far this year. So let's see. It all depends how the developers will continue to support the game. It's still in early access, and there's a roadmap on the Steam page for you to see it. It's very interesting. But make sure to hit that like, subscribe button. It's free. It helps me a lot. I'm here. This is for me just to kind of celebrate the indie games. The indie scene is just incredible. My life, I won't be able to play every single indie game in my lifetime, because it's just crazy. The sheer amount of indie games out there getting released almost every single day. So drop a like if you're vibing with this review, and stick around. The rest of the gameplay is coming up next. Enjoy. See you next time. Bye.